Every year, 1 in 4 Americans over the age of 65 falls. That is 29 million people. And here's the part that never makes the evening news. Most of those falls were predictable. There is a 10-second clinical test that doctors and physical therapists use to assess your fall risk right now in your own living room for free. The number you get from this test has been linked in peer-reviewed research, not just to fall risk, but to your probability of dying within the next decade. That is not a dramatic claim. That is published science. Stay with me through this entire video, because after the test, I am going to give you 3 progressive exercises in a very specific, research-backed order that can genuinely shift that number in 4 to 6 weeks. Your score right now is not your ceiling. It is your starting line. In 2014, a landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed nearly 700 middle-aged and older adults for an average of 7 years. Every participant received a simple 10-second single-leg balance test at the start. The result was extraordinary. Those who could not balance on one leg for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of dying from any cause during the follow-up period. 84%. That number is not about falling. It is about what your balance system quietly reveals about everything underneath. Your ability to hold a one-legged stand is a direct readout of your neurological coordination, your muscle chain integrity, your vestibular health, and your body's reflex speed. It is not a fitness flex. It is a biomarker, one of the clearest windows medicine has into your overall biological age. Here is what makes the silent decline of balance so dangerous. It does not hurt. It does not announce itself with a diagnosis or a memorable moment of failure. Instead, your body compensates so cleverly you barely register it happening. Your stride grows shorter without you consciously deciding to slow down. You reach for railings and counter edges without noticing the habit forming. You start steering around uneven terrain, cracked sidewalks, gravel paths, dark stairwells, and you tell yourself it is just sensible caution. Your brain is protecting you without briefing you. And the single-leg stance test is the tool that cuts straight through all of that quiet compensation and gives you the number behind the curtain. But here is the truth that makes this genuinely hopeful, rather than frightening. The 4 systems that govern your balance: your vestibular organs, your proprioceptive sensors, your hip and core stabilizers, and your nervous system's processing speed, are all trainable, even in your 70s, even in your early 80s. The research on balance plasticity in older adults is not ambiguous. Balance is not a fixed attribute handed out at birth. It is a skill with a measurable, improbable baseline. And knowing your exact number, the score you are going to get in the next 2 minutes, is the single most valuable piece of information this video can give you. Before you begin, set yourself up for an accurate result. Stand near a sturdy chair or within easy reach of a wall. You will very likely not need it. But having your safety net close allows your nervous system to genuinely relax, and anxiety actually tightens postural muscles and distorts your result. Remove your shoes. Your feet communicate critical balance information to your nervous system through the sole, and shoes significantly muffle that signal. Stand on a hard, flat surface where possible, hardwood, tile, or laminate, rather than thick carpet, which introduces instability that skews the score. Fold your arms across your chest. Outstretched arms are a compensatory balance tool. If your arms drift wide during the test, you are borrowing stability from a mechanism the test is designed to exclude, and your number will not reflect your true baseline. Fix your gaze on a single stationary point at eye level directly ahead of you. A light switch, a door handle, a small mark on the wall. Choose it now. Do not let your eyes wander. The moment your gaze drifts, your visual system begins recalibrating and your score improves artificially. Now lift one foot, bending your knee to roughly 45 degrees so your foot clears the ground fully. Begin counting the moment your foot lifts. Stop counting when any of the following occurs. Your lifted foot touches the floor, your arms separate from your chest, your eyes close or drift, or your standing foot hops or pivots noticeably. Perform this 3 times on each foot. Take your single best result from either foot. That is your score. Here is what it means against clinical benchmarks. Between ages 60 and 69, 14 seconds or more is low risk. 10 to 13 is a meaningful caution zone that warrants attention. Under 10 seconds is elevated risk and means the exercises ahead are something you need to begin this week, not eventually. Between ages 70 and 79, 8 seconds or more is acceptable. 4 to 7 is moderate risk. Below 4 seconds is significant, and you should speak with your doctor in addition to starting the workout plan in this video. Write your score down now. Better yet, type it in the comments so you can compare it to your retested score in 4 weeks. Here's where most balanced videos get the science entirely backward. They treat a low score as a strength problem. Build your legs up and your balance improves. That is an oversimplification that produces the wrong training approach and frustratingly slow results. Your single leg score is not primarily a measurement of muscular force. It is a measurement of neurological coordination, how efficiently 4 distinct biological systems are talking to each other in real time under load. System 1 is your vestibular apparatus, the semicircular canals and otolith organs inside your inner ear. These detect gravitational pull and rotational movement every fraction of a second and send orientation data to your brain continuously. System 2 is proprioception, sensory receptors embedded in your muscles, tendons, and joint capsules that provide your brain with a live, constantly updated map of where your limbs are in space. Without this map, your brain cannot issue precise corrective signals. System 3 is muscular integrity, specifically the hip abductors, gluteus medius, and deep core stabilizers that prevent your pelvis from dropping laterally the moment only one leg is bearing your full weight. System 4 is neuromuscular processing speed, the rate at which incoming sensor data is integrated, a correction is decided, and the precise muscular response is fired. Here is the pattern. Interrupt that changes how you should interpret your score. Trained distance runners with exceptional cardiovascular fitness and strong legs regularly fail this test with scores under 8 seconds. Meanwhile, older adults who spent decades in physically dynamic occupations, construction, nursing, farming, routinely score above 20 seconds with no formal exercise history. Your score is governed by neural coordination, not by how hard you have exercised. That is the insight that makes the 3 exercises ahead so effective. They are designed to target systems 1 through 4 directly, in a progression that makes each stage build the neural substrate the next one requires. These 3 exercises are a neurological progression, not a fitness circuit. Each one builds the precise neural foundation the next requires. The order is not optional, and skipping ahead will undermine your results. Your nervous system learns balance the same way it learns any complex motor skill, through graduated, specific, repeated stimulus that slowly rewires the feedback loop. Think of it less like exercise and more like physical therapy for the exact systems your test score revealed. Exercise 1 is the supported single leg hold. Stand directly behind a sturdy chair with both hands resting lightly on the back. Lightly, not gripping, just contact. Light contact still provides sensory feedback while allowing your full balance system to engage. Lift 1 foot and hold for as long as you comfortably can. If your first attempt lasts only 2 or 3 seconds, that is a real starting point and it is worth more than it looks. 5 repetitions per leg with a full 30-second rest between each hold. Perform this every single day for 1 week before advancing. In this first week, duration is almost beside the point. What you are building is neural pattern repetition. Each hold sends your brain the sensory signature of single leg loading, and each repetition engraves that signature 1 layer deeper. This is the foundational wiring that makes everything else possible. Exercise 2 is the tandem stance rock. Stand with 1 foot placed directly in front of the other, the heel of your rear foot nearly touching the toes of your front foot, with 1 hand resting lightly on a wall for safety. From this narrow stance, deliberately shift your weight forward over the front foot, pause for a full count of 1, then shift slowly and controlled back over the rear foot. 10 slow rocks per set, 3 sets daily. This exercise trains your anterior, posterior, and lateral stability simultaneously, and it challenges your ankle strategy, the rapid micro-adjustments your ankles make to prevent forward or backward sway. These are the exact balance demands your body faces in real-world situations where most falls actually happen. Stepping down from a curb, reaching across a counter, pivoting suddenly in a narrow hallway. Spend week 2 building this daily. Exercise 3 is the eyes closed single leg stand. Stand near your support chair, but without holding it. Lift one foot, close your eyes, and attempt to hold for 5 seconds. 3 attempts per leg, resting fully between each. When your visual system is removed, your vestibular system and proprioception must carry the entire stability load, unaided and uncompensated. This is precisely the condition that governs whether a stumble becomes a fall. It is fast, disorienting, and visually unavailable. Training it deliberately is the specific stimulus that multiple physical therapy studies have linked to measurable single-leg stance test improvements within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent practice. Begin this only in week 3 and beyond. The challenge is substantial. The results are proportional. The difference between the person who works this full progression and the person who does not is over months and years, the difference between catching a stumble and not. Let us close every loop from the beginning of this video. You came in without a balance score. You now have one. You understand what the 4 systems behind that score are and why every single one of them responds to targeted training at your age. And you have a 3-stage progressive exercise plan: supported holds, tandem rocks, and eyes closed single leg stands that the research says will produce measurable changes in 4 to 6 weeks of consistent daily practice. No equipment, no gym membership, no cost. Just your body, your attention, and a sturdy chair. One more number before you go. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65 in the United States. Every 22 minutes, an older adult in this country dies from a fall-related injury. That statistic does not have to be part of your story. Your score today is not a verdict. It is a baseline, the exact point from which every improvement begins. And those improvements happen faster than most people expect, once they are targeting the right systems in the right order. Drop your test result in the comments right now. Tell us your age and how many seconds you held. You will be genuinely surprised by how many people are on exactly this journey alongside you, and how fast their numbers move when they work the plan. If this video gave you something real today, a number, a reason, a clear path forward, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We publish new senior health and fall prevention content every single week, built on the science of staying strong, staying independent, and staying on your feet for as long as life allows.